welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am a homeschooling mom of 5. My name is Julie, and today I want to share with you guys some of our favorite read aloud books. So I have been reading aloud to my kids, I guess forever. Like since they were little, I always enjoyed reading to them. They've always enjoyed sitting and listening to books. That was the one thing, even when I had a toddler and a baby, and then I had like 2 toddlers and a baby, if ever things got hectic and I just felt like I was out of control, I would just say, okay kids, we're gonna sit down and read. And that just seemed to always fix all of our problems. I would grab a couple books off of our bookshelf and all the kids would just gather around me and be interested in listening to the stories I read to them. But then as we started school, as my oldest got into kindergarten, I would say the read aloud time became more of a routine. We kind of left those board books and picture books. Okay, we did not leave them. I still have a 3-year-old that I still read those to. But once they got to school age, I started a daily routine of reading chapter books and more novels to them. And now my oldest is in grade 6. And so through the years, we have found some titles that are just our favorites. They are books that I have read to the kids. I have read a lot of these twice, and I would gladly read them over and over again because the story is just that good. So I have a stack of books today to share with you. I would say all of these titles, I would read them to my oldest child still, no problem, but they are appropriate for even a 1st grader. Some of these might go a little bit over their heads, but they're not advanced at all. They are books that even a 5- and 6-year-old would grasp the majority of. So I will go ahead and show you what I have. I also have a few other titles that I don't have in my hands because these are books that I have gotten from the library and I don't have them in our own home library. So I am going to start with the Little House series. I'm sure all of you have heard of this series before, and I have most of the series. I think I'm missing a couple of books, but I brought these ones down to show you because they are very good standalone books. So this is the first book of the series, Little House in the Big Woods, and then this is book number 3, I believe, and it is called Farmer Boy. So this is about Laura Ingalls Wilder, based on a true story, their adventures, all of their travels and snowstorms and things that they lived through in those pioneer days. I love that this series, for one, it's cool that it is based on a true story. And also, I love the amount of history my kids are learning as I read these books. And then the Farmer Boy book, this is the story of Almanzo, who is Laura Ingalls, who she eventually marries. And this one is just good for a laugh. There's a lot of funny adventures through this. So many fun and funny tales that if your boy is hesitant about listening to the Little House series, I'm sure your boy would enjoy Farmer Boy. Your girls as well. Anytime I have a kindergartner, I make sure to read Charlotte's Web. Why do I always read it when I have a kindergartner? I don't know. I think it's because when Elijah, my oldest, started kindergarten, the very first book I read to him that was more than, like I said, just a picture book was Charlotte's Web. And he really enjoyed it and he really understood the story even, at 5 years old. And so every time one of my next kids gets into kindergarten, I think, okay, let's pull out Charlotte's Web again. So this is by E.B. White, a story about this spider named Charlotte and this pig named Wilbur. Just a cute animal story. They converse, the two of them, and some other animals in the barn. And then another story by E.B. White is Trumpet of the Swan, and we really enjoy this one too. It is about this trumpeter swan. Again, it's an animal story, but he interacts with humans, so that's kind of fun. I apologize, I am not great at giving descriptions of books. I'm like, these are the books we like, but to go and remember and properly describe a book, I don't know if that's what I'm great at. But this book, The Wild Robot, this is The Wild Robot Escapes. It's book 2 in the series, but there is also the book The Wild Robot, which is the first book. I would say we prefer book 1, but both are good. This is a fairly new book. So these came out, I'm gonna look and see if I can quickly see in what year this one came out. This one says 2018, so very new title, and it's about this robot who gets, if I remember correctly, he falls off of the ship like in his packing crate and ends up on this island. And so this robot is living with animals. Again, animal stories are just great for kids, aren't they? And so this robot just embraces these animals as his closest friends and as his family. And one thing I really enjoy about this title is that you learn so much about animals through it. So it will talk about what the different animal homes are called and what the animal young is called. And again, just really a really educational read, even though it's a totally fictitious story. The next book on my list is one that I don't have a copy of, and that is Cheaper by the Dozen. That one, I didn't really think about that one as I was looking through my stack of books. That is one that might go over a first grader's head almost completely. Like that one probably is for a little bit of an older child, but again, it's based on a true story, loosely based on a true story. It is about a family with 12 kids and all of the adventures that they go through. I believe it's from about the early 1900s, I want to say. Again, a lot of hilarious stories, a lot of good laughs you'll get from your kids as you read that one. Another favorite is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl. We have a lot of the Roald Dahl books, but I would say our favorite ones are Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and also Matilda. Again, very humorous books. My kids love the humorous titles, so those were a lot of fun to read and also to watch. A lot of these books I'm showing today have movies as well, which is really fun when we can read through a book together and then we can watch the movie after. We never watch the movie first. I always tell the kids, no, we have to read the book first, and then as like a little reward for finishing the book, we will try to find the movie to watch as well. Another funny title, I'm just realizing I'm showing you a lot of like funny stories right now. This is Pippi Longstocking, this spunky little girl whose father is off at sea, I think, and she lives with a monkey and a horse. She gets to know her neighbors, but her neighbors don't realize that she lives alone, that she doesn't have parents at her house, and lots of laughs and a pretty short book too. Sometimes it's nice to pull out a book that we can read in like 3 or 4 days. Mr. Popper's Penguins is another great one about a man who gets these penguins sent to him. And so he has these, I think it's like 100 penguins. I don't know. It's a lot of penguins living in his house with him and the calamities and just craziness that goes along with that. Beverly Cleary is another great author for kids' books. So again, we have a series. We probably have 10 of the books by Beverly Cleary. Ramona Quimby, I believe Beverly Cleary just died this year too, didn't she? Ramona Quimby, age 8 is one that I brought down, and then also Henry and Beezus, but we have a lot of the Ramona books. We also, the other favorite we have by Beverly Cleary is The Mouse and the Motorcycle. That's a really cute story and I could not find it, so it's somewhere in this house, but that is about a mouse that lives in a hotel. He has a little toy, just a little toy motorcycle that he rides around, and he knows what time of day he can be riding through the hotel halls and what he can be doing. He has a whole family living in these hotel walls. That's one that I haven't read to the kids in a while, and talking about it makes me think I need to read that one again because that's a really good one. And then the last favorite I wanted to share with you is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And that of course is about a girl named Dorothy who lives in the magical world of Oz after she has been swept away from her house by a tornado with her dog. And so they go on this adventure and they meet lots of different friends along the way. So those are some of our favorites, books that I would definitely recommend to you. Clean titles. Okay, again, as I say that, clean titles. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure Cheaper by the Dozen has a couple of swear words in it. I think if I remember correctly, it does. And so another reason it's great as a read aloud, I just skip over those words. My kids are none the wiser, but these are all great titles that I would recommend as read alouds for you and your family. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know down in the comments below what your favorite read aloud books are. I'm always looking for more titles, for more new books to read to my kids. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and I will see you again very soon.